coming apart at the seams. It's funny, I sat down this second to do a video about something else, but then I check Twitter and I see that a couple of my favorite creators are having a disagreement. What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Normally, I don't weigh in on what other creators do because I do respect them, okay? And when you respect someone, that means that you accept them for their individuality, which includes differences of opinion. You don't have to agree with everybody that you see or that you hear, but you can respect their way of thinking because sometimes you can learn from it. You can learn from a different point of view. That's the reason why I say differences are actually to be appreciated instead of resented. And I think we get that backwards sometimes. We look at the differences between us and we resent them. Sometimes there's a little bit of envy, that someone has a different way of thinking, especially if it's a good person. The conclusion that they come to might not have a whole hell of a lot in common with what we come to, and they have a unique or different presentation, but you learn from that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of creators out here that I get something from, that I appreciate in the way that, they present themselves. And I think we're starting to lose that a little bit. We're going on quite a few years in now. We're still under 10 years old with this particular fandom in the way that we relate online. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fandom has always been fandom. But I'm just saying, the amplified voices that we have here on YouTube and other platforms, Twitter, all social media, is still a basically recent phenomenon. So we found each other and we found what we had in common. And then when we started doing our thing, with our unique differences and things, and maybe expressing our opinions about one another, it seems that, you started to see some ruffling of the feathers. And it's important that we remember what brought us together in the first place. We don't always have to express how we feel about one another as long as we maintain the respect. Like, you don't always have to nitpick somebody else's performance or their point of view or how they go about running their channel. There's plenty of creators out here that I have a ton of respect for, but their way of expression is not mine. And it doesn't have to be. That's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. If I felt like somebody spoke for me, 100%, well, then there'd be no need for me to say anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything to add to this conversation. And contrary to popular belief, I don't just like hearing myself talk. So if somebody else is saying it the way I would or better, then I probably shut the hell up. I wouldn't have a whole lot to say. But that's not the case. I feel like I have something unique to say, so I say it. Therefore, it doesn't bother me what anybody else does with their channel because they're saying it the way that they say it. It doesn't threaten me because I have my platform, and it doesn't matter the size of everybody's platform. As long as I'm saying what I got to say, and if there are some people who want to hear it, I'm encouraged by that. I don't need to have billions of followers and billions of views and billions of subs and stuff like that. All I ever wanted to know is that what I'm bringing is appreciated by some. You know what I mean? And they do appreciate what I do and what I say, and that's enough to inspire me to continue on. Maybe somebody is feeling me. Maybe I'm not crazy, so yeah. But I think we're starting to lose that a little bit because, like I said, there's a lot of guys in this game, a lot of guys and a lot of girls, that I really do respect, and I see them going back and forth with one another, and it's very, very unfortunate because I really do perceive them to be good people, and if you're a good person, you gotta find common ground. They say good fences make good neighbors, basically, so that's something that I try to live by. You don't need to be peeking over somebody else's yard. You need to be looking over the fence. Like, what was that, Home Improvement? You had the guy who just was always looking over the fence. All you ever saw was his eyes and stuff. You don't need to do that. He's doing his thing. He's maintaining his yard. He's having his parties. If he invites you over, that's great. Or if you invite him over there, that's great. But you have yours and they have theirs. And that's a respectful, healthy way to be. But when you start doing all of this fighting, like, disagreements is one thing, right? But taking it to social media, knowing that a lot of us share an audience, The audience doesn't want to see that. You know, the audience likes to think that we're united the way that we were, that attracted them to this space in the first place, where they can trust us to represent them, you know, in a way that is heard by the industry, which is what we all started speaking against in the first place. The industry that's not taking us seriously, taking us for granted, not giving us or considering what it is that we want from these properties that we love. And that's basically what they're here for. They're not here for the infighting, and I'm sure some of them are, so they can sit back and say, look at them. You know, it's funny when, you know, people start going at it. The first thing people want to do is talk about so much for the fandom menace. Doesn't matter that some of these people don't even consider themselves to be fandom menace. The haters will always do that, and that's the point that I was talking about. I've been trying to make that point for a very long time. It's not a matter of what you consider yourself to be. Sometimes it is, I am whatever you say I am. And you have to represent yourself in that space the best way that you can. You know, you just can't spend all your time saying, I'm not this, I'm not that. Why are you calling me that? No, just represent who you are. You know, and the people, like I said, they're going to see you how they want to see you anyway. Some people don't ask for leadership, but it's thrust upon you nonetheless. So, listen, guys, I'm not going to get long-winded and preachy here. I just want to say that I respect so many of you out there, you know, people that I haven't even personally met, whether it's online or offline. But I'm also representative of your audience. If I gave you a like, if I gave you a share, if I gave you a follow, a subscription, it's usually because I really dig the way you doing your shit, man. And, you know, I want to see that. I don't want to see you lose credibility because you went up against this one, you know, who's more popular. It shouldn't be a popularity contest. It should be about the case that you're making and the points that you're making and the shots that you're shooting, man. They can't all be threes. Sometimes you miss, whatever the case may be, you know. But I like the fact that we have a voice, and that voice is authentic, and that voice is true and it's honest. And that's what you do. You know what I mean? Stay in your lane, do your thing, pay your respects where necessary. But the disrespect of one another based upon you don't like their message, you don't like speculation, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you don't do speculation. Maybe you don't do rumors. I don't do that, you know, but I still respect others who do, you know, who are able to build that platform. Obviously, people want to hear it because people go to it. I can't do that. That's not my thing. I don't have insiders. I don't have all that stuff. By now, hopefully you guys know a little bit better of what I'm talking about, but representing the audience is something that should be maintained front and center. It's a mission statement for all of us, or it should be, you know. But the infighting, I know that it's going to happen. Anytime you have a bunch of alphas in one space, you know, shit like this is going to jump off. But for my stance on all of this, at the end of the day, I feel like we should all remember that we all have our core channels. We all have our spaces for a reason. You know, they say be the change you want to see in the world. Well, be that voice that you want to hear. You can't influence somebody else to be the way that you want to be. If you don't like what they're saying, it's the choice is clear. Don't fuck with them. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I don't want to go on too long. Like I said, I actually sat down to do a video about something else, but I just got sidetracked real quick, and I think it's unfortunate. Much love, you know, much respect more than anything. It doesn't have to be love, but, you know, much respect, you know, to my fellow creators out there. And, you know, like I said, for my part, I hope we get our shit together. And just remember that, guys. You know, we don't want to mess up this this wonderful thing that we have going, where the fans actually have a voice, and that voice can be somewhat united, you know, as long as we remember that mutual respect. So anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about that. Hope you understood what I was talking about. You can get in the comment section and sound off if you have any idea what I'm talking about. And you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, you can catch me on Twitter, because that's actually what I'm talking about. Some shit that I've been seeing going back and forth on Twitter. And I will catch you on the next one. Thank you guys for listening. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.